If you are looking for a course that is about humanitarian assistance but is a different learning experience, then that's the right course.
It is the only humanitarian master's course of its kind in the Asia Pacific. It's at the cutting edge of what's happening in the sector.
I think what makes the Masters of Humanitarian Assistance so unique at Deakin is that it's practitioner-led and practitioner-focused. You become a better humanitarian because you've learned from the experiences of practitioners in the field, as opposed to it being a purely theoretical course.
It's the first course of its type in the region.
Having qualifications in the sector is going to be a key foundation stone for those who propose to work in the sector.
So we're seeing more and more in the sector that we have to have highly skilled and high trained professionals. You have that in any other sector. In the humanitarian sector, it should be nothing less. In fact, it should be more because of the complexity of our sector, because of what we're dealing with, and because we actually have a duty to the populations we're working with to make sure that we're sending in skilled, trained, qualified professional staff. The Deakin Masters of Humanitarian Assistance is a great example of how the Australian sector is actually leading the way in professionalising our staff, particularly in this region.
I investigated options across Australia, and Deakin was best positioned through its online learning to be able to allow me to balance my work and study.
Students could be involved in any one of a number of different program areas, anything from child protection to livelihoods to WASH to whatever sorts of programs an agency might be involved in.
You would be having online lectures. You will have access to a lot of guest lectures online, but also during the residentials, you will have the opportunity to really work with practitioners.
I would recommend the course to those who have always been interested in the humanitarian sector but do not have the theoretical practical skills needed to go into the sector.
One of the key benefits of the Masters of Humanitarian Assistance is the balance between theory and practice.
The course is structured around 6 core units. For those people coming in with practice experience, they can do the 6 core units, and then we'd ask them to do the larger research components within the course. For those coming in with little or no experience, they do the 6 core units, and they would come in and we'd encourage them to do the internship program and a slightly smaller research program.
So I think one of the really critical things for us as a sector is we need to professionalise ourselves, and what the Deakin Masters is allowing us to do is to expose students to a range of topics that also exposes them to a range of opportunities, but it means that at the end of the day we're increasing the pool of humanitarian professionals that will be actually leading and responding.
What the Masters does is it allows us to focus much more on the human factors that are so important to changing the face of humanitarian work.
It's really very practical and insight deep into humanity.
The Masters of Humanitarian Assistance allows students to really grapple with the complexities of the humanitarian sector. That's why I think it's one of the best courses that we have in terms of allowing students to deep dive into issues, but it also allows them to really connect with the realities in the field.
Be prepared to be challenged, and be prepared to be challenged in a way that you probably haven't experienced in a university environment before.